Something that I have always found extremely interesting about Iceland is everyone in Iceland works out. Everyone in Iceland is focused on being better.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from?
So I actually, I told you about this. National Geographic took DNA samples out of me, Hayse, Thor, some of the CrossFit athletes like Annie, Thor's daughter, and other people trying to figure out why the fuck we are so strong and why we are so driven. We had the DNA test back. Turns out our strength comes from our mothers. Our strength gene comes from our mothers. There's absolutely nothing about the genes that we have, the DNA that we have. There's absolutely nothing different about it than from others. I think it's just a cultural thing that, like, it's fucking hard to live in Iceland, man.
I was already say I've been to Iceland.
So hard.
Iceland is pretty much my second home at this point. I've been here so many damn times, and I always think about that as we're driving around. And I've been here during winter. I've experienced that whenever you're just driving in Iceland and you look around, you just know that it's hard to live here. I mean, you talk about this all the time. I can't imagine the original settlers of the island, 1,000 years ago that came here, and they had to make it work. Yeah. So Iceland's been inhabited, I guess, for 1,000 years now, right? Mm-hmm. Over 1,000 years. That's so many generations that have had to really just fight to survive, and it became part of the culture. Yeah. And I think that's interesting because the land developed the people.
Yeah, I agree.
And you kind of see that with other countries as well. Like, it's mostly northern countries. Northern countries always have just a very hard type of person. Mm-hmm. And by hard, I mean like good, like they're ready for whatever comes their way. And then when you have, like, say, more island, like Pacific Island and southern islands and stuff like that, they're a lot more carefree. They don't really give a shit about anything, etc. Not everyone, of course. There are. But here in Iceland, everyone is focused on being strong. Yeah. It is part of the national identity. And it was 100% shaped by the environment and the land and all that stuff.
100%. I think that gets, like, scientifically integrated into our DNA.
Yeah.
Because, like, come here and stay in Iceland. Come and stay for winter. Few weeks in, like, dude, it's so hard.
Bro, when I was here for New Year's and we were driving back to Reykjavik from your hometown.
I was tired then.
You were tired, but the wind was so bad that, like, you were white knuckling it, right? Like, I knew I'm not going to talk for the next 2 hours because you were just focused on driving, right? Yes. And I remember we drove past these tourists. They had to pull over, and I saw them crying in the car because they were so overwhelmed by the weather. Yeah. Yeah. And so just let that sink in. Imagine driving, guys, and getting so overwhelmed just by wind. Mm-hmm. It wasn't snowing. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was snow getting pushed around, but it was just the wind was so bad that these tourists had to pull over and and they were crying because they were so overwhelmed.
Yeah, add that to it just always being dark. Like, it gets to you, man. It's like 6 months. It's just dark. And if you work a regular job, you'll never see bright, like, daylight.
Never.
For half a year.
How do you cope with that? Does it get to you?
Yeah, it does, yeah. It gets to me around, I'd say somewhere between, like, November and January, it gets to me, yeah. That's why everyone in Iceland, I mean everyone that has any leftover money, some extra money, they fucking go somewhere.
They usually go to Spain and stuff,
right?
You
have to go. Yeah. You just have to go. Because it's just too much. It's just way too much. And the suicide rates they fucking skyrocket during November, December, man.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, like, I think all of that is integrated into and molded us into being what we are. Like you said, everyone is trying to be strong right now, or wants to get strong, or just wants to break out of their way. I don't know really anyone that doesn't want to change.
Do you think that's ever going to change as modern culture continues to kind of entwine itself with Iceland?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You can see
can see it in the younger kids.
Can you?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.